Do not be envious of evil men, nor desire to be with them. For their heart devises violence, and their lips talk of troublemaking. Do not let your heart envy sinners, but be zealous for the fear of the Lord all day. For surely there is a hereafter, and your hope will not be cut off. I was reading from Proverbs right now, and I'm just thinking about a lot of things. Well, not a lot of things. Let me just narrow it down. I'm thinking about how I've been treated in this environment regarding my relationship with my son. It hasn't been fun to experience and to observe the things that I've been seeing and experiencing regarding that. It hasn't been easy. One may say, oh, there she goes again, looking for something or someone to blame. No, that's not it. And hopefully the people who listen to this are not the kind of people who speak in that manner anyway. Because those who speak in that manner, they are more than welcome to go and listen to other people's voice notes or try and stalk other people's phones, whatever the situation may be. But anyway, it's either I've been trying to they've been trying to make me to feel jealous. It's as if I've been tested or being watched how I react or how I respond. And I'm a Christian girl. That's who I am. I'm a Christian woman, and that has been my faith. And I'm not boasting about it, But that's just who I am. And those who have been subjecting me to this, trying to make me jealous or to feel left out or to feel all sorts of things and watching how I respond and how I react. There are people who know the Word of God, that it does say things like that you should not be envious of evil men, nor desire to be with them. And when I experienced the evil from those who were surrounding the environments where I'd be going to see my son, or where I would spend time with my son, them knowing what Proverbs 24:1 says, or verses 1 and 2 of Proverbs 24, then it'll be like, what do you expect me to do when I'm experiencing an injustice or unwelcomed comments or just a sense of, yeah, well, we're not sure if we want you around here. Sorry, who are you? Sorry, what are you here for again? Sorry, which child are you here for? Excuse me, school is about to start. When I've experienced all of the ugly parts about where I would see my son, and I would keep quiet mostly, and then at some points I would answer. It'll be like, but you know what the Bible says, and you know that I'm a Christian woman. So why are you trying to either trick me into being envious or into feeling left out or to feel as if I don't belong, when I'm just trying to, when I'm just, being with my son. It's not right. And maybe someone is like, no, she just wants to get attention. No, I don't want to get attention. I just want to spend time with my son. I've been at Newcastle for 11 months now, and I haven't even gotten to have a picnic date with my boy, And again, somebody's like, if she's speaking about Newcastle in this way, why is she here? it's obvious why I'm here. Why are you questioning why I'm here? Why are you here if you want to speak in that sense, in this manner, about people who are in Newcastle for a couple of months, you know? Like, it's not even about how long I've been here for or any of that, but about why I came to Newcastle. And and the resistance and the unjust treatment I've received, um, from the one place that should actually be a neutral environment regarding, two parents who are no longer together and their lives have sort of moved on in different directions but are sharing a child. That's what I would expect, but no, it hasn't really been like that, eh? It's been something else, and now because the year is almost over and exams are almost beginning and all of that, it's as if it's okay that all of this has been happening, but it hasn't been okay. And I suppose my having been quiet about it, um, is one of those that's probably being perceived as, yeah, well, she must be condemned, yeah, well, she must be feeling bad about herself, or if not, then let's just see, how we can get her to be jealous, or just whatever the situation may be. I'm speaking about things that I've personally experienced here. I'm not gonna name every single, example of things that have happened, but good God, like, people must not meddle in such relationships. It's a sensitive enough situation. I'm not making too much of it, nor will I make small of it. Being a parent and and having a child is something so wonderful and something so great. I may not have figures or financial information data to elaborate on that, or to give it weight according to those who weigh according to financial statements and those kind of things. But being a parent and that relationship between a parent and a child is important. It's very important. And I'm not looking to blame anyone, but I will be lying if I say it has been okay to listen to some of the things some of the adults have spoken outside the premises of where my son is schooling. Um, Fair enough, I would experience this by myself, as in, it's not something I would tell the father of my child because him and I are not on speaking terms. Um, we don't speak to each other. I eventually opted to just not speak to him again because I was accused of trying to do what I was not trying to do, which was said right at the beginning of when I came to Newcastle, so that it sets the tone of, let's just create an offense and then just watch her wallow and see how she wallows for the rest of the year while we continue doing our own thing. Let her complain if she wants to, we don't really care, we'll just continue doing our own thing. And this is the same thing I also experienced when I was in Durban, from the girl who lives with my mother. She did the exact same thing where she would just flash her phone of how she saved the father of my son's wife on her phone, as she saved him as my son's mother. And she made sure that she points her phone in the direction of where I was sitting so that I look and see. Like, that's what Mumagaziwe did. And and I said to her, I don't know why you're trying to make me to be jealous, because Magandiso is my son and Njabulo's wife is not his mother. So yes, they share a surname, Magaziwe, and that girl, they have a commonality in the surname of Ukuma. And again, I'm supposed to just take these things and not be hurt by it. And if it hurts me emotionally, I'm supposed to keep quiet? No. I told her, I hate what you are doing, and I actually hate you for doing this because you're trying to hurt me. You're trying to hurt my heart in the things that you are doing. Because, in the years that, my son has been at Newcastle, fair enough, his father, not fair enough, it's actually not fair. They were not letting me see him and all of that. as much as I would like to. And they carved out some life of just saying, no, no, no. We'll just make our perfect little family, and we don't care what happens to Cindy Siwe. She can just whatever. Well, they call me Masindi, and even that is another issue. You know, I want to be called by my full name. So all of these things have been happening, but reading these verses now from Proverbs, all I'm thinking is these are the same people that we go to church with, you know? I mean, on Sunday we'd wake up and we'd go to church in Durban, and I was thinking, it's so wrong that there are people in the church who are seeing what's happening or sensing that I'm angry with that girl who lives with Umaga. Her name is Magaziyo. Because she's absolutely evil to me. Why? Because she's a log reader, and she uses logs to create a network and to maintain a network and to justify her business case or her case or whatever activity she does. But when I went to Durban, I had to learn, or my eyes were opened, Uguti. She has warfare against me, and I wouldn't know why she would do that. And it was like an open secret. And when we would go to church on Sunday, other people would pick up on that, and they were feeding this whole thing. And I would just stand there watching, and I'd just be like, this is not okay. So what do you do when those who are evil towards you are the same people that you find yourself fellowshipping with on a Sunday? When they are the same people that you need to be speaking things of the faith with, and it's the people that you are praying with. How do you handle those situations as a human being? It can't be easy. And Proverbs 23 verse 17 says, do not let your heart envy sinners. I mean, nobody wants to envy a sinner when we know that God does not want us to sin. But yes, as human beings, we do sin. However, when the very people that these verses I'm reading are the people that, are the people you are either living with, or if there are people that you come into contact with on a frequent basis, or they are, let's say, relatives, what do you do? It's okay if evil people are people who are far removed from you, like I think it's a bit better. It's not okay, but I mean, when you compare the two situations, a stranger who's being evil is something else to, let's say, a cousin who's being evil towards you, and that's good God, that's so difficult, because if it's people who are close, to your life or your heart or your situations or your daily living or your soul, it is so difficult because other people pick up on that, and then they want to add their own things onto that, and that should not be. That really should not be. And it's really unfair, because I like what Proverbs 23 says in verse 18. It says, for surely there is a hereafter, and your hope will not be cut off. Like there will be a time when my son leaves the school he's at and he moves on to a different school, or maybe not even maybe, and he's going to high school pretty soon. And when he goes to high school, I don't even know right now which high school that is. I'm not taking into consideration a staged few seconds yesterday when I went to watch him play cricket. That doesn't count. I'm his mother, for goodness sake. But anyway, so when he leaves that school pretty soon, because I mean it's almost the end of the year. It's almost the end of his grade 7. That means there is going to be a hereafter. So as human beings, we know this. We know that things are passing, and time progresses, and people move, and people grow, and all of that. So why do you facilitate, or why do you add onto what looks to be animosity, or what looks to be a relationship without communication, or what looks to be a broken relationship. Let's put it that way. Why are you adding your own, your own energy to feed that negativity, when we all know, without even just reading the Bible, we all know that things change, that people change, that people grow, and people forgive each other sometimes, or people decide, okay, listen, let's sit down and talk about this, and how can we do this better, or whatever the situation is. So to me, as someone who consults the Word of God, it means a lot to read that there is a verse that speaks about that. For surely there is a hereafter, and your hope will not be cut off. So my hope will not be cut off. And when God establishes me, because he is establishing me, and he is a God who listens to my prayers, and he's working all things out for my good as well. That's my faith, something that I don't really need to keep telling others, because some people, when they hear where your faith level is at, then they think, oh, here's something to contest, because I just feel like contesting it. Oh, here's something to challenge, because I just feel like challenging it. That's not okay. Look at your own measure of faith, for your own life as well, for your own career, for your own family, and for your own relationships, and see how you can make that better in a good way for you and those people that you are in relationships with. Not to say, oh, let's see which relationship is lacking, or which relationship is struggling, or which relationship there seems to be some kind of tension, and let's see what we can get out of that, or what entertainment can you get out of that. For goodness sake, what are you standing to gain from relationships that seem to be either broken or hurt, or not fully as good as they should be? How on earth do you look at that and say, this is what I can get some kind of entertainment or a kick out of, or a boost out of, and say, oh, okay, at least I'm better? Come on, guys. Like, we really need to ask ourselves, do I really need to speak about that family or that family dynamic, or do I really need to add my opinion about what I see happening there, even if what you see happening there is not really okay? Like, come on, guys. If your heart is not good, or you are not inclined towards seeing people get better, or seeing people actually just progress in a good way, and for goodness sake, let me not even generalize. If your heart is not towards seeing two adults who are parents to a child, maybe just speak to each other, or try, not even, but try to do the best they can under the circumstances that they are in as adults, long after they're separated. Why do you wanna speak over that, something that is not good, if you don't have a heart that is inclined towards just that goodness? And I can understand. No, let me not say that. What my son's paternal grandmother said to me was very wrong, because she was actually planting a seed right at the beginning into my mind of something she claims she doesn't want. Meanwhile, she's planting that seed, and she's old enough to know, Uguti, when you speak something, you are planting something onto that person's soul, their mind, or their will, or their emotions. And if she says it's the very thing that she didn't want, she treated me very wrongly in that sense. And then months later, and waves to me, and I'm just thinking, angiyazi mina lento ukuthi ibizwa ngani, after knowing very well how she treated me when I came to Newcastle. I was just like, why are you waving to me now? Because now we're in front of the school, we must play pretend. I can't play pretend, but I'm more than happy to just keep quiet and keep my distance, just like you did, and literally turned your back to me when I was at your gate at your house. So someone might think, Uguti, I'm just laying out dirty laundry. I'm not. If you think I'm laying out dirty laundry, please, you're more than welcome to not listen on this. And don't stalk my phone, or don't tune in to whatever network that lets you to stalk my phone and listen only for you to have such comments. Please, you're more than welcome to listen to something else. But here I am sitting in this space, and I'm just speaking these things because I'm speaking them sitting by myself, and I listen to them because I need to work out certain things in my life, because I don't have that many conversations around here. And when I'm around people, it just seems to be that when I'm around people, those few times I am around other people, it's not the most constructive, to be quite honest. It hasn't been the most constructive for me. Because, yeah, well, they know why, and I have ideas why this is happening or why that has been happening. But yeah, so I believe I will speak the truth in love, and I'm starting with myself and recording myself, listening in, and considering and praying about certain things, and because I'm looking to be healed. I'm looking to grow in all things. Coming when I came here, I did expect that it might have a couple of challenges, but most of the challenges have come from everybody else besides me as the mom and the father of my son. It's about the people around his life and their comments, okay? Not because of conversations that him and I have had. He spoke once to me outside our son's school, and that day I decided I will not speak to this guy, because if this is how he speaks with me, I would rather not. So everything for the past however many months has been things that have been spoken by people around him and his life, and around him and our son's life. Not because of conversations I've had with him, or maybe altercations or verbal fights, or whatever the situation may be. Which means that between Mina and the father of my son, there has been no truth that has been spoken regarding us being parents to our son. It's all about the people who are around him and our son, who have spoken or uttered words about the situation that we are in, and facilitating me formulating certain decisions and that kind of a thing. And I'm sure God is looking and thinking something about that, I choose to not speak to Jabulo because I know what he's like when he speaks with me. And I hate that. Like, I hate it with my whole heart. And I don't want it to be, I didn't want my coming here and having that courage and that hope and that longing to be here in this now time. I didn't want that to be a door for him to now try and open up certain things from over a decade ago, for goodness sake. Listen, my journey with God, and my journey with healing, and my journey with Christianity or salvation has not been an easy one, and in as much as I say that I love God and I'm grateful, I glorify him for restoring, for healing, for doing things that I never even thought at this 2024 I'll be here. And there's a lot I'm so grateful to God for, that I glorify him for. That me coming here I did not want it to be an opportunity for Satan to try and make me focus so much on what was done or decided to end more than 10 years ago. So that's why I didn't take kindly to what my son's paternal grandmother said to me. I don't. And just because I hadn't seen her for months after that didn't make it okay for her to just pitch months later and just wave to me. khona kuzoba in record ukuthi awu nanku ugogo ebingelela wayethulela nje uma wengane. Isn't it amazing that when they want to be justified, they will do an act once so that it's on record, and all the other evil now must just be forgotten? However, when I was going through the difficulties that I went through, those are quoted most probably more to keep justifying the way that I'm being treated when I try to spend time with my son. Nobody cares about, the prayers I have been making, or nobody cares about the journey of crying out to God and seeking God and going to churches and having people speak over my life and surrounding myself intentionally with prayerful people, or with the kind of people I feel, I felt I need to be around these people so I can, glean some of that godliness that I need, or some of that healing, or some of that, that positivity. There has been years of effort, of crying, of serving God, of feeding my soul with the things of my faith, of my Christianity. Meanwhile, when others want to justify themselves, they just do one little act and then they're like, oh, well, she's not playing along, or she's not coming to the party, so I'm sorry. Meanwhile, I've had years and years of seeking to delight myself again, of seeking to say, God, here I am, okay, again. Oh my goodness, I don't even hate myself that much anymore. And how I've grown in so many other areas. That has been years of working at it intentionally. I'm not boasting. I'm just saying that if you, as someone who does not like me being at Newcastle to just spend time with my son, are saying you just need to show up once and then we'll just say you're okay, then you need to consider that I've also been through my own fair long journey with God to get me to the point that I'm actually even here, and I don't walk in shame, nor do I want to take glory in the shame. So why do you want to take glory in the shame and further perpetuate my feeling, like my not feeling as good or living that best life that I should? If spending more time with my son adds to me living that best life, it should. He's my son. Then why do you want to be a hindrance to that? Like, why? And it's like those who have been wicked in my life are just told by whoever gives them that counsel, just show up once and then we'll keep that on record. You showed up and then this is what they did, or she was not willing. Meanwhile, the efforts that I have been making, fair enough, repeatedly or over a period of time, they must just be overlooked. I'm not contesting or comparing the durations here, but be mindful that I have been on this journey for a very long time, and I will not let it be minimized by people who just seek to perpetuate enmity, because I am not Jabula's enemy. I don't like how he speaks with me, so I choose to not speak with him. That's it. I know the things he spoke to me previously when I came to Newcastle for a short period of time. And Nakhona, I was like, I don't deserve any of these things he's saying over the phone to his mom regarding me when I was at his home. I don't need to keep digging things that happened over a year ago or whatever the situation may be to say I'm justifying still not speaking to him now. I don't like talking to him when he talks to me in that sense. And me praying to have my own husband is not something I'm going to be ashamed of. And it's not something that I will stop doing, because when Jabula speaks with me, he wants to speak to me as if I'm nothing. I'm not nothing. I matter to God, and my relationship with Umagandesha matters to God, and it matters to me too. And if the father of my son is surrounded by counselors who are telling him that it's okay to have been doing all of this, and don't worry, life progresses and this time will pass, or whatever it is, then how is it wrong when I just choose to go to his school and just keep quiet, or go to his school and just say hello to him? Um, it him being my son, and I just, it's so unrighteous what's been happening. It's so ungodly what's been happening. And what's worse is the people who are onlookers, who all they care about is what can we get out of this whole situation that's happening here? What can we write out of this whole situation, that's happening here? And that's not right at all. It's not right at all. And as difficult as these past couple of months have been for me and on me, as much as I've struggled in this environment, what I can say is I still do not welcome ungodly comments or ungodly additions through conversations when I find myself in a situation where I need to ask for help or ask for food. When I have been in those situations, I still do not welcome words that are ungodly or of no edifying value over my life or over the life of my son or over, his father's life either. And me being resolute about which of those relationships do I want to be a part of, or which of those people do I want to actually have conversations with. There's nothing wrong with that, because yet again, there's a hereafter. And in that hereafter, I don't want to say it's because that woman said that, or that other lady did that, or because that teacher was whispering this, or that coach was hinting on that, or I don't want to say that. That's not part of what I want to speak about to the people I'll be speaking to, or people I'll be in relationships with. I don't want to have those parts inserted into my conversation or my story, or what I will be reminiscing about, should I be reminiscing with my son, or when we're laughing over this. So in my hereafter, there are certain parts that I really don't want to talk about. There are certain parts that I don't want to quote to validate or to justify or to elaborate on how it had been here. Those parts should be very brief and done away with, and that's it. And they should just stop. I want to talk about the good parts, because I'm in a season of restoration. I'm in a season of glorifying uNkulunkulu. I'm in a season of wanting to also impart that which I've learned in my salvation journey and in this journey I've had with uNkulunkulu to others too. So yeah, I am mindful of what I would like to speak about. I am mindful of what I would like to include, and if I were to ever write a book, who knows, or whatever it is that I'll be writing, or teaching about, or sharing from this experience, there are parts that I know that this is not for me, or this is not what I want to take to my hereafter, and that's okay. So stop trying to make me jealous, because I reject that seed too, because when I also have met the most amazing guy that God has for me, yes, I'll say the most amazing guy, because that's just how I speak, and the guy who's made to love me for who I am, and not to try and see what makes me happy, only to try and dampen my spirits. I don't want that as a part of my life ever. But a genuine, good-hearted guy who understands my faith too, someone that is made to just love me and just be pure and sincere. I don't think I want to be boasting about that. I will enjoy that relationship. I cannot wait. Like I can't wait. I have been waiting to enjoy being in a relationship with a man that God has made me for. So I reject the suggestions of trying to assess whether am I jealous if I see the father of my child with another child or another one of his children. I'm not. You know, am I jealous if I see him walking with his now wife? I'm not. So whoever's facilitating this thing of trying to get me to be envious and trying to get me to be jealous, it's as if it's someone who knows what the Bible says about jealousy or envy, and they're trying to just get me to feel or think along those lines. And then they can say, look what Christian girl is doing. Listen, should I feel jealous if, or in moments when maybe a jealousy would come from wherever, it's something I would pray to God about. Like, why would you want another human being to just dwell in envy? That's not right, you know. So yeah, stop trying to make me envious. I'm not envious, because when I am loved by a man who I am made for, I don't think I would want to be trying to make other people envious of me now being in a relationship. Do you know what I'm saying? I just want to enjoy being loved, and for me to just be his woman, and to be open to him just loving me graciously and beautifully as he will. So to me, I don't think uthando phakathi kwendoda nomfazi is something that should be a source of envy. Cha, I don't. Like, I honestly don't. I don't think it's something that should be perpetuating some kind of covetous behavior or enviable behavior. I mean, what are you going to say? Coveted position of being a wife of a man. Come on, you don't say such things. You know, but I mean, such words are spoken. Like, you know, when you say things like the most coveted position. Mina, I don't think uthando between indoda nomfazi into yokuthi kufanele kube into yokukhanda umona or into yokukhanda ukuthi abantu babe nesikhwele. I don't understand why we would do that when you're just supposed to enjoy, you know, loving one another and enjoy what you are building. To enjoy what your ministry is, nobabili, or as individuals, and supporting each other and doing good, and whatever the situation may be. Okay, those are the things I need to speak to with the one I'm made for when I meet him. But anyway, okunye lokho. But I reject very strongly the suggestions or things that are trying to make me feel as if I don't belong, or I am worthless, or my contribution doesn't matter, or sorry, we can up whatever you think you can give. Because when I am a Mrs. to whom I am made to be a Mrs. to, I don't think I would want to sit there and invest time with my husband on thinking, how can I make the father of my son jealous? That's diabolical. That's rubbish. I would rather speak about other things, you know? And no one is supposed to listen in and say, oh, let's see how we can formulate such that she finds herself in that situation because she thinks she knows a lot. I don't think I know a lot. I don't think I'm overly opinionated. I believe, therefore I speak. When I am loved and I become a wife to the man that I'm made to become a wife to, I do not think that I would want to spend time speaking with my husband on how to make someone from many years ago jealous of our relationship. That's not who I am. And I think the covenant of marriage is such a beautiful thing. It can be such a beautiful thing. And if that is how imishado are, ukuthi abantu bahlala bathi sizobenza kanjani ukuthi babe nomona ngathi, please, I don't want to be a part of such things or such conversations. So no, guys, whether it's in church, whether it's relatives, whether it's people I speak with, or those who see me on a regular basis around here, or wherever it's from. I reject all of it very strongly because I do not want to sit there thinking, kodwa Jehova ngicela manje kufanele ngithini abantu belokhu befuna ngibe nomona. Anginawo umona. Love is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. So cabanga-ke ukuthi uma mina ngicabanga, let me not generalize. You cannot say you are okay with where you are in the matters of the heart and the matters of love and building family and all of that and legacy and what are all these big words. Meanwhile, you're thinking, how can I make this other one feel unwanted or unneeded or as if they are not sufficient or they are not enough or not welcomed? To me, that is almost questionable, if I can put it that way. But I'm not trying to offend, and I'm not trying to throw shade either. All I'm saying is, I have been waiting to be loved, and I'm gonna enjoy being loved so much that there's a verse in the Bible that says, "Oh, my heart rejoices with Jehovah." One of the women in the Bible said that, where she even talks about how she smiles even to her enemies. It's in the New Testament. And when you are so happy about what God has done, apparently you can also smile to your enemies. No, please, no fake smiles, because now I've spoken this time. No, thank you. Anyway, and that's that. But again, I don't consider Njawulo an enemy. I don't appreciate speaking with him. I hate the way he speaks to me. It doesn't add value to my life, how he speaks to me or about me or whatever. But again, I can only speak about how he has been speaking to me. That adds no value to my life. And everything that's been happening for the past few months, can I please just say, I am not in a polygamous relationship. Stop treating us as if umshado is tembulo. It's not. I'm not in a polygamous relationship. God, you know I'm not in one. So, ngicela ngingatreatwa whether in principle or in concept or in whatever, as if I'm some part of some polygamous arrangement. I'm not. I'm not, especially not with the father of my son. I'm not, and I'm very resolute in that. So can I please stop being treated like one? Like that's how it is, because that's not how it is. I think I'll stop there for now. So ngiyacela Jehova uphendule imithandazo yami, and you need to face this, and you know which mouths needs to be shut regarding opinions over what's happening here, and you know which mouths were ordained by you to speak life and something far more positive and far more good over this situation. And those are the people that need to speak, not those who just want to leave comments or suggestions or things that they shouldn't, because there is a hereafter, and some things do not need to move on to that hereafter. Amen.